are you for the top 5 budget true wireless earbuds under $50. In this video, we will look at some of the top 5 budget true wireless earbuds under $50 on the market. For more details and price, click product link, please check the description below. Before we get started with our video. Number 1. Soundpeats T3. The Soundpeats T3 buds have two things going for them aside from their modest price tag. They sound decent and work well for making calls with very good noise reduction. They're also comfortable to wear and have both active noise cancelling and transparency mode. However, the noise cancelling is only okay. Not great, same goes for the transparency mode. But you can't expect everything for such a low price. Equipped with Bluetooth 5.2, they are splash-proof and have a battery life rating of up to 5.5 hours on a single charge at moderate volume levels. They have relatively smooth, balanced sound and ample bass. They're not going to wow you with clarity or dynamic sound, but they are pleasant to listen to, which is all you can ask for in a budget set of earbuds. Callers said that my voice sounded clearer when I was using the AirPods Pro, but the Soundpeats actually reduced more background noise than the AirPods Pro. I was able to have conversations on the noisy streets of New York without a problem. Number 2. Earfun Free Pro. From a design standpoint, the Earfun Free Pro seem identical to the Feel T1X, which used to be on this list and remains a good value. However, the Earfun Free Pro has better features, including active noise cancellation with a transparency mode, wireless charging, and Bluetooth 5.2. They are rated for 7 hours of battery life without the noise cancelling function on, or about 6 hours with it on. They're IPX5 water resistant, which means they can withstand a sustained spray of water. They sound very good for the money, with relatively clean, balanced sound and bass that has some kick to it. They're pretty open sounding, lightweight, and comfortable to wear. They have little fins that help keep them securely in your ears, and they're fairly discreet looking. Don't expect them to cancel noise as well as the AirPods Pro, but they do provide some decent muffling. It's worth noting that you can use either the left or right earbud independently, and there's a low latency mode for video watching and presumably gaming. Call quality was decent, too. Callers said they heard some background noise, but it wasn't intrusive, and they could hear my voice well. The touch controls were responsive. If you're choosing between the Earfun Free Pro and the POW 3 above, it comes down to the style of the earbuds. The X3 has stick-style design, while this doesn't. Note that the Earfun Free Pro sometimes cost more than $50, but they do often dip to less than $50. So that's why they are on this list. Number 3. Soundpeats Air 3. Soundpeats says its open-style Air 3 buds are 10% smaller than their predecessors, the True Air 2, and the case is truly tiny, smaller than the AirPods case. The buds stayed in my ears more securely than the AirPods do. I have trouble keeping the AirPods in my ears, especially if I start running. These use Qualcomm's 3040 chipset, which has Bluetooth 5.2, and I had no trouble pairing them with an iPhone 12 Pro and a Google Pixel 4 XL. My connection was quite stable. The earbuds support the aptX audio codec with compatible devices. Sound quality is good for open earbuds. It's right there with the AirPods, and these even have slightly more bass. I think most people will be satisfied with the sound. The only issue I noticed is that you can only push them so far. When playing certain tracks at higher volumes, I did encounter some distortion. Rock tracks where several instruments are playing at once can be challenging. As a result, I kept the earbuds at about 60% of maximum. You can adjust the volume using the touch controls, which work well. They do play loud at higher volumes. Number 4. Anker Soundcore Life P2. Anker has released its newer Soundcore Life P3 around $70, but the Soundcore Life P2 earbuds remain a good value option at around $45. The buds charge horizontally in their case rather than vertically, and there's a slightly cheaper feel to both the case and the buds compared with the Liberty Air 2. Their sound doesn't have the presence boost in the treble that the Liberty Air 2 buds have, so they're not as clear sounding with well-recorded tracks, and the bass isn't quite as well-defined. But they're warmer and more forgiving, which I appreciated, and they sound more like the original Liberty Air. It's also worth noting that instead of touch controls, they feature physical buttons, which some people may prefer. They have 4 microphones, 2 of which are supposed to help with noise reduction when making calls in noisier environments. They do a decent job of reducing background noise when making calls. But my voice didn't sound as clear to callers as it did with Anker's Liberty Air 2. While there's no wireless charging, you do get USB-C charging. Battery life is rated at 7 hours. And this true wireless earbud option has an IPX7 water resistance rating, which means they can be fully submerged in water to a depth of 3 feet and still survive. They're arguably the best value in the Anker True Wireless line right now. An almost identical version to these earbuds is sold at Target under the name Soundcore Life Note. I should also mention that Anker is now selling the smaller Soundcore Life P2 Mini, which has shorter stems. It's also good for the money, but this model has 4 microphones for voice calling, while that model has 2. The Life P3 has 6 microphones. Number 5. Tranya T10. The T10, which Tranya keeps slightly updating while keeping the price low, have been on this list for a while, and it remains a good value at around $25. There's now a low latency gaming mode. Like most true wireless earbuds from Chinese brands that sell through Amazon, these have a pretty generic look and feel, especially the case. And they may not fit all ears equally well, they do stick out a little. But if you get a tight seal, they sound good, with potent, well-defined bass and good detail for a true wireless earbud. They also work decently as a headset for making calls, thanks to decent noise reduction that helps tamp down background noise so people can hear your voice better. Battery life is rated at 8 hours at moderate volume levels, and these are fully waterproof with an IPX7 rating.